Welcome to Dungeon Master, where we cannot see what we're trying to see unless we hit the skip ahead. Can we skip ahead? Okay, let's try this again. Welcome to Dungeon Master. That I'm seeing something appearing looks about as good as we can get this mirror lamp to unveil the dungeon ahead that wizards of the coast have struck us upon and been part of the many things that conformed us and brandished us in the ways of the elven kingdoms. That this is but the video game of the Lord of the Rings means that this is the one that came first, even though it was in history, not to be released till last. They started working on the video game in the 1700s in Brighton, England. It was J.R. Tolkien. J.R.R. Jr. was the one to finally put together what the original game was supposed to be like, which just came out because there's a ton of games and this is only one of them. And if you think Dungeon Master is taking you to all the games, then maybe you just weren't ready for this one, but we're gonna go a little ways in. Yeah, I'm not gonna say that you're gonna see the whole Lord of the Rings series or anything by watching this. No, I can't. I'm totally devoid of film I can make, and all this ground is burning. You know what? I'm running out of canisters of film stock to be open canisters to store it in. I mean, I've got so many tapes, and there's just like a stack of tapes out the wall. And I'm collecting these tapes as we're going through this dungeon. We're not gonna be destroyed upon this dungeon by these orcs. Who's with me? Oh, it's an orc battle. Whoa. Dungeon Master remembers seeing these episodes never before. They had not come from another allegiance to separate us from men, from boat, from peer, from note, from curious. There I see. If you are not related to the game, then you are not about to chance it in the moments we need worse. And how could this forge a new surrounding if the surrounding is old within itself? Gone beyond the phase of execution to mildly instinctive and in defense alone. Can you fight like this? Oh, take me to the next level. There's a lot of things we don't need to see going on. Like, I'm not fully concerned. Oh, now we need to see it. That was a sudden change of the range of where we were looking at. It seemed like, well, I want to see this without missing it. It looks like something's glowing and standing amidst of them, and whoa, Dungeon Master just got stoned. When Dungeon Master's stoned, it's a whole different game. Like, I don't remember seeing this Witch King tell me anything about the underground thralls, but now that I've noticed for the first time, the story is being told on the bottom of this. We must be at a different screen. We're looking through our spaceship window with our mirror lamp. This is not the normal outer space thing I would see, but that is exactly the part. Commercial. Why there's technical difficulties is because we don't want to necessarily run the whole commercial. I'll tell you why next commercial. Now here we go. Man, I totally hit that commercial and now I can't get back into the show. Oh, dude, the Witch King got killed. How many times does the Witch King get killed in this shiznit? I want to know. And if you guys can't even seem to keep, motion picture copyright going the way it needs to go, look, I mean, what am I supposed to do? Come into another series because this one's only so long? Well, you can be as long as you want, but I have files I gotta go eject. That means if there was a part 2, it'd probably be the next movie. But there is a way around this. We can take this train as far as we can take it. It won't be the exact minutage of where we're getting the clips total. And I will race against you with my druids, race of druids. And the puppet master shall be upon us, and the eye in the sky sees everything. But look, into the wilderness we go. Another day, another foray, the castle being locked behind. Everyone being bowed to the king as the war continues on ground level. And these are the Lords of the Rings that we must remember. If there was nothing else we could remember in life, these are the Lords of the Rings. The Lords of the Rings. And I don't know how else to tell you. But if the Lord of the Rings were fighting a battle in my backyard, which is kind of... Oh, is that my backyard? Dungeon Master used to live there. Oh, I miss the place, I do. It's not what I used to pay for it anymore. It's a lot more now. And a lot more dungeon battles break out around here, but this has been Dungeon Battle Central lately ever since those RVs were racing. And I'm looking over this edge and there's eternity. And everyone goes to sleep. It is turned to stone. Well, it wasn't worth that in the fight, but I guess there's more battle to do anyway. We didn't have to knock their asses over. But we forgot that we're clearing the town anyway, because I have a bad feeling about this flamethrower. It doesn't come off until I clear a town with it, and what better than a town I know nothing about, that I'm trudging around and slaughtering all of its enemies. And hopefully these guys are the bad guys, because they're swinging swords at me. Oh, I like this, Dungeon Master. It's like he sees something you've seen in a dream that was recorded in a video game. And then he mentions it and it starts happening, but it starts happening after he mentions it. And we've had this conversation before, Dungeon Master. I'm the guy that writes the notes that they hired, for Dungeon Master notes. And we are a long way through this game. Now, I can't say we're a very long way until we get to situation 80 or so. And where are we now? Right on number 70. And you really think I want to blow this one, man? Let's talk about this. First of all, we've got YouTube on our side. They'll download it. They'll download it on YouTube. They won't have no problem. And if they do need us to buy them the rights to this classical music, we'll do it. And whatever other rights are to go into them that they would like to give us the license for, like Lord of the Rings, which we have requested and gained at an earlier date, not just through the Ian McKellen fan club, but also those that were very cool with us of using the copyrights of the Lord of the Rings and Star Wars and Harry Potter and the like. For ours would for sure be a commercial of theirs. See, everyone would have to buy it after they saw it on Dungeon Master, even though it's one of the lowest brow number 7 Dungeon Masters there are. But that there's so many Dungeon Masters all of a sudden usually means I'm back out with mine, and why it's a good outward appearance to show those who do not have this, the secrets and inner workings of this, is they will learn it and they ever get to play it in the world ahead, which chances are they will, because everyone's owned it at one point as a game, I think. And now to see it again in its game-like form, while we too play Dungeon Master, and we see a commercial has entered the frame, and we must go on. Technical difficulty, insert side B. Now, if you look at this sphere of angle of black and white and how they're moving through the sonography, and see, I'm a film critic too, watch this. I can make it turn night into day. And I didn't even hit a loop button. Look at that, they're crag-a-lagging, they're kicking each other's butts. Why would they be out there fighting? Let's see if we can find... Now this, take note, my students, is the sword of temporality, and it also shows the weakness and how many hit points who just got hit next loses and has, and this guy's got a full sword full. But if we look over here, we see the Lord of the Rings Hobbit guy that's Frodo, and he's actually got to kill 59 more orcs to even get out of the ballpark with where he needs to go. But this is really a good thing because killing orcs is what he does best, and that's what they are about to fight, is more banshees and wenches and half lanshees. And I really don't want to say those words because they sound really perverse in terms of what is not to be allowed in the theater of AD&D, taken to Lord of the Rings and then taken back to Dungeon Master. Look what we got here. And now we must play through the circuit. The circuit is where we put the information on where it belongs. And we see how good this looks in charting. And we see how our map raises function when we record it the right way. Am I wrong? And all these buildings and inner insides do come at a trim, but not necessarily without my motion going one way or the other. And that was a shaky runaway because the camera is going in different ways that I'm holding versus their camera changing, which is like full vortexes, and I don't know if I can stay on a nice little dwarf that is bringing us through the game of Lord of the Rings, Two Towers gameplay walkthrough. I mean, if you can follow this, you can get through the game, but it's not only pieces of it. We got limited for time. Limited for time, burn down the city, limited for time. Hey, that doesn't mean we're shutting down yet. Well, what do we got? What are we looking at? I can get you 20 what? I can get you 27 minutes. 27 minutes is all you can get me? Man, we just barely got started. This is ridiculous. I'm embarrassed. You can only get me 20 more minutes? Did you forget to take the footage out of the camera and put it away in the clothes bin? You did it again. We could have had all the Lord of the Rings on here. There would really be defined copyright, though, so maybe rethink this. Thanks for making a short one. Because we can get by a short one easier than we can get by a full-length feature, can we not, boys? Hey, they see the ruling there, too. However, we can impress Lord of the Rings by selling those video games. Like, I think everybody that plays this should be advantaging themselves by buying the games in Dungeon Master. The Dungeon Master games usually go down a game they invent themselves, or we're inventing it ourselves out of other games. So it's like we make the game work with other games. Like now this game works with Zelda somewhere back down in the Dungeon Masters. And if you don't think that works visually, and there's too much in the back, tell me, how can I see on your shoulder? See the old wizard attack. See the old wizard. Oh, I'm following him. He's going that way. These graphics are heinously awesome. I love these graphics. It makes me forget that I'm even supposed to be critiquing this dungeon. I'm supposed to be showing you the whole around of the dungeon, but they keep knocking people over or whatever. Not that I'm complaining. But if you just realized what a huge idea I just had. Oh, it's so salty. It's making this as long enough as it takes to be a feature. We can feature Lord of the Rings, and then if it doesn't feature here, we'll feature it on YouTube or Facebook. And it's already featured. And then I thought, well, if we're going to do that, then we've got a little bit of time to go. So I think I'm going to have to drag this. Actually, that looks powerful. Let's see what happens here. After the commercial, we will go forward in time, and then we may take a step back after we've gone even further forward. And this whole thing is a strategy guide as to how to beat this game. I don't know how we got stuck in that last one, but this looks like a big beast of an animal to kick him over easily and be guided. Oh, ran him over. It's a good thing he's invulnerable to any pain or any sorrow or any guilt or frustration. Those are things computers don't have. That's an advantage of the character. They don't have frustration. They don't have anxiety. They don't have... That's why computers are a lot more clear in what they want than humans. They just want databytes to bite down on that it makes them feel their only feeling of pleasure there is, biting down on databytes. Scarf down on databytes, dude. So he can last forever as computers. I'm gonna scarf down on a databyte. Oh, that poetry book, dude, that's databytes, bro. That leaves 10 times as many databytes, dude. Our computers just got better for downloading that poetry book, bro. Now they can download anything. Oh my gosh, it's the biggest file. Oh, I swear it's the biggest file, and you can download it too. No, there are other files that may be bigger, like not Robert Louis Stevenson's, but H.G. Wells and his 15,000 pages may never be stopped as the eternal pages of time, except for L. Ron Hubbard's 100,000 pages years later. Mine near 13,000. I doubt I'll reach 15,000, but might. Robert Louis Stevenson. This is Dungeon Master Notes. Dungeon Master Notes for all the 5 shows that there already were in this one go on longer than any other book and are being taken care of by the Writers Guild, who have been assembling them over the years as another way they can make charity money by selling them, even with my credit swap. And so the Writers Guild just keeps doing that, and then I'm just like, well, isn't that the deal we had? I put my name on it, you said it. Make money, sell more. Hey, it costs money to sell one. So buy the Lord of the Rings video game, and this commercial will have gone back to them. And then we praise the god Zondor, who told us commercial watching is about the best we can do. And if we just keep putting our foot forward, then we will have a symphonic request in the back regard of the underworld of so begone if it's significant is once with me, because as it is, we are clear in the moment to have a mistake be made by no one. We can have a mistake be made by anyone. That is not no one at all. In case you had a serious misunderstanding with what no one at all is, and anyone and someone. And you're the one was meant to be for me, baby. Whoever I talked to earlier today, you're the one I was meant to be baby. Yeah. I'm going to start throwing things down on the show. Hey, out there to my ladies. Hey, that wasn't Dungeon Master. He's got more ladies. Yeah, there used to be guest stars on the show and stuff, but I haven't really found a way to do that because, well, see, lately I've been getting the shit kicked out of me, bro, by this chick, and she's cool, but she one time snapped me in half like a pencil, and I haven't been walking straight since. No, I'm just kidding, Dungeon Master. I'm doing good with chicks, man. I hope that one didn't hurtle you off the shelf of your core. Man, what a funny day that was. Wasn't that 2 days ago? I don't know, everyone was so drunk with me. Anyway, I gotta go back to my really assaultingly hard to do copyright agency materials that I already sent on the internet. Hang on. Do you even know what he's blathering about? Like he really has girlfriends, right? Yeah, right. He's a guy. Other than me, he doesn't have girlfriends. And secondly, Everyone knows the Dungeon Master is what they really want in life, because he can give you what you really want in life, which is a scene of a cloak on a shield and a fire-grown laser. And then suddenly, it skips and we're back to the Fire Throne. And it looks as though there's a box in a carriage and it's being torn off with the shield, and I can't quite see what's happening on this field of battle, but it keeps cursing ahead as though that were the only right thing to do with it, is do the right thing. And suddenly I'm squeamish about what I'm leaving in and what I'm not, and I'm only halfway through this feature. And why it's a feature, because I'm halfway through. It's gonna be amazing if we make it through this dungeon, folks. These Lord of the Rings dungeons need us to go a little bit back and a little bit further, so let's go back. I wondered if this was a sacred part of the game, or if it was something we had to look off of, or if somehow we could go back in the game and really psych everybody out. Because now we're back in a place we were a while ago. And I can't keep track of all the places we've been, but we must go within all the dangerous lands of the Lord of the Rings dungeon. And the Lord of the Rings dungeon is a long time in the coming, so everybody in charge of the Lord of the Rings dungeon, yeah, you know who you are. That was badass. That guy just crunked that guy. We've seen this, I swear. Maybe we haven't, or doesn't this look familiar? Like we came over this with a fine-tooth comb earlier. But what did we miss up front? I don't think this was the beginning. So if we see this by the beginning, of course we've seen this, but now we get to see it with the words, "and my axe," he says. That's what he was saying the whole time. All right, we need to stretch this out a little bit, because you guys are getting goofy with your fast forwards. All right, put us 10 minutes from the end. I just put you 10 minutes from the end, and this could be really ratty, blowy, schnocky, wild. Because you do realize we had more than 10 minutes of footage left to go, and now this will never be a feature unless we rewind it. But we might as well catch the end, and then we'll watch the beginning, and it'll make sense. All right, now somebody's really starting to worry me, because we've been at the end of the game for about 2 minutes. And Dungeon Master, I wanted to tell you something. When I don't have my girlfriends over, I play video games. No, I really do. I don't usually, look on the computer or anything. I just play video games. Is that cool? But of course it's cool. Why wouldn't it be cool, my dear brigand? You, of course, of all people, would know whether or not it's cool to play video games or not. I wasn't trying to tell you not to play video games, young sir. Just that you're about to beat one of the finest, hardest... Oh, it just almost makes me cry with this rain and this fog and these beasts and this simple things on Earth. Just really... And if I was already way over there and there was nothing left of the outside basic design of this, is entertaining no matter what we're really seeing. And I can't stay in this realm, but I want to. I want to so bad. I'm gonna have to leave you all and go back on this timeline, back to the beginning after this plays out, and that's gonna be real tricky to do. Because if this Lord of the Rings goes away, then that means I missed all the best frickin' parts and left them in the game. Although this last 10 minutes is something that would challenge me to want to own it. I mean, I don't see anything wrong with presenting it so others buy it. It says we have 6 minutes remaining of the grand finale. of Lord of the Rings Two Towers. You know we're not done with the game yet. We're going to go highlight some good parts. We're going to highlight the good parts, see what the game's like, and then go play it again. And we're not coming back to the end unless we run out of time. And oh, are we Vengeance of Time? These espers on the wall encounter more of us than working in time. And if time is where you're tragic still, the effervescent feeling will. And overshot and undergain was finding out a simpler pain was all to you in greatest name. I cannot come forth. Can you save it for 10 minutes?
Yeah, I'll come back in 10 minutes.
Sorry, there was a dungeon master problem. We are going to retrieve the weed in a moment, but first we must see what is going on in Dungeon Masterville, because that didn't make me forget that we were still winning this war, this 5-on-everyone war, and we will overturn the galaxy and return it to Lord Ilgos. And we will return the muse to its edamame music lesson. No, that's not what it... Dang, Dungeon Master, I gotta tell you, earlier today, I was really, digging this girl, so I drooled, and it was gross, dude. It was the only time I've ever done that. I don't know if she was trying to make out with me, and I just drooled, dude, out of pure pleasure. I don't know. Dungeon Master, we're not allowed to have this kind of stuff in this game. We can't talk about what makes girls cute. We can't talk about how there's witches on our team that are girls that are cute. We can't talk about how... I talk of the Enchantress all the time. It doesn't seem to bother my feminist audiences, who don't seem to care that I talk about them anyway. But if you look at this, I'm really concerned as to what's going to be the response of this list in general. Is making me wonder if there really is a point. Well, there's 5 minutes. It was 6, and now there's 5. Well, so this is what the end looks like for all of us. And it looks like a mishmash, kish, cash, Carl. Excellent, they're kicking everybody's ass. They got to kick some ass. We got to go on frame to see what's happening up close. Wow, that can be distracting, but it's also cool. We'll scan the frame. There's a flotational device. Oh, we all went up the floor. See, that's how you can do things in Dungeon Master. Participate in the action by zooming in and zooming out. And we're still zooming out, we're still zooming out, we're still zooming out, we're still zooming out, and we're zooming back in, and we're zooming back in, and we're zooming back in. Well, that was kind of a dead place to zoom into, but check this out. Whoa, commercial, whoa! Hang on. I said the Lord was good, but I didn't know he always gave me money that fast. All right, here we go. Now, all right, this guy's running through, yeah, he's kicking some dude's ass. Pretty much where we're last were. Is this still the ending? I hate to break it to you, but this still is the ending. If you can believe me. I mean, I don't understand why people don't believe me about the ending. It's right here, man. Wait, you're on Dungeon Master, right? Oh, we're just on Lord of the Rings. We only got one more of these. You guys got, what, 50 more? See, at the top, Slowpoke. Too bad ours are going to sell 1 million more. Well, that's the idea of selling yours. Yeah, I do need guys like you to sell the shit. Well. Okay, yeah, we can do that. We can do that. We can have you, sell... my, what was I gonna do again with my life that you were gonna sell of mine? I can't remember. What does he want me to sell of mine? Gosh. I can't sell you the rights to Dungeon Master because that's more than you're worth, but more than Bill Gates' worth. Because it's a show I like working on. And I just think that if I were to squander my talent and throw it all away, message from the editor, I can't complain about a game like this that ends like this in the cosmic vortex of the cerebral challenge of it all. And those guys are knocking this giant ape down. It's got to be the last guy of the game. I mean, it's so huge that if it isn't the very end, I don't know what we're watching, but I almost gave up part of myself that I didn't want to. Now I don't remember what it was. Nobody else does either. So I say, Dungeoneers, you might want to rewind it. Uh-oh. We're about to go back to the beginning. We gotta watch what else happens in this ending. This is a short ending, bro. And if that piano music doesn't get bought by YouTube Supreme right now soon, I don't know if we're gonna get away with this soundtrack so severe. But if this is the end of the game, I like it. It's a part of the movie. Isn't this where they were in the beginning of the movie anyway? Dungeon Master faces. Well, we can do this. We're going somewhere else for a little while because you know what? Dungeon Master's not over yet. It's not over yet. I know you like Lord of the Rings. I do. I do too. Now, Dungeon Master is not quite over yet, but still has to count out to the last version. We were seeing a bit of fuzzy static on the Lord of the Rings channel. They were really amazed that we made it to the end of the hard way through the last 10 minutes. But the last 30 minutes are usually what are the hardest part in video games. Usually, I don't know, I don't. I design games and redesign games. But that's because I'm great at everything, says Dungeon Master. One time I held a woolly for about 16 seconds before it dripped jum-jum, and then I dropped it over a cage. I mean, if you can see the kind of wastery, it's like women's mastery, wastery. And I met the Enchantress that year, and she just had this blurry bit about her, like she never knew where she was when I knew, even when she was close by, but that she would disappear somewhere else is like a big news. So, if I've ever seen her or haven't, it would be kind of a drag to not want to be with someone when you know you can't be with them anyway. Welcome to New fucking York, man. That's what it's all like around here. Are you even complaining about that? At least you're getting laid. Come on, get out of here. Well, the cynicism has abounded on this city street, but that was my karma. That was my karma, because I would have been with her for a million years if it would have been possible. But I give up, because I played Lord of the Rings all day. What, you wanted it? I played Lord of the Rings all day. Alright, before I get too mushy, I gotta say, I would have stayed even if you didn't. I would have stayed forever even if you'd hit it. I would have lost my way to nowhere for having never been gone. To stay there with the Enchantress at dawn. Look at that. It's another place in New York. They've been moving the camera. They move the camera, but the audio is synced with is not coming from the computer. Though we get the visuals from them. And the visuals right on. And look, we make to a boundary, we make to two boundaries. Insert tape B. Well, this is the Dungeon Master for what it's worth. I don't know if we'll get a coined onto YouTube or to Facebook, but we'll have to make a train to our Facebook movies because we toe-apocalypsed it on. Or toe-apocryphed it on Dungeon Master so hard that we had to go off to the Facebook lands, but that YouTube should be able to cover these images and sounds on YouTube Masterclass. I hope they can. And I hope they can handle that, doing that, because this is definitely worth the YouTube seeing, and you can always get this byline down here and see where to go. It's not a secret anymore. It's not a secret anymore. The reason it's not a secret anymore is because I don't have 4 to put on the floor, but if I had an H in case I'd ate you while you were in my place, and then I stuck down on all the fear, and then it was compensatory, and then I went down to see the wilds that were off inside the beguiled, and there was nothing left to do when I went away with you. Wow, Dungeon Master. I've never seen anything like this. Come look. Dungeon Master, are you asleep? Oh, he's asleep. I'm asleep, sorry. Oh, I've never seen anything like this. This is great. Okay, I've got to go back to bed. You take over for the last... Oh, it's only on for a minute. Whatever you're on it. Dungeon Master's asleep. Everybody be quiet. Dungeon Master's asleep. The classical music put him to sleep. I've never seen him take a rest. But not in this whole game. This is the first time he slept for 78 days. No, it's not quite been that long, but almost. Okay. I think he's okay. He was Dungeon Mastering so long that he finally crashed out, dude. That's hilarious, bro. That's hilarious. You jokester, Dungeon Master. Oh, yeah. I bet he smoked a bowl of weed a minute ago and went totally thrashing down into the depths of the freaks who suspect they could never love anyone. No, that's a different song. This is cool, though. That New York lifeline comes from... Well, we can go over here. It's like the Blade Runner camera, only... Whatever I'm looking at, this is an abstract